Hey, today I'm talking about 3 lesser talked about Disney animation classics. And the names of those 3 films are The Black Cauldron, The Rescuers, and The Great Mouse Detective. First up is The Black Cauldron. This is a 1985 dark fantasy film that is freaking amazing. I was really blown away by how much I enjoyed this movie. It gave me such strong The Never-Ending Story vibes. So the basic premise is this assistant pig farmer boy. He really wants to be a big time warrior. Like, he just constantly fantasizes about saving the day and all that stuff. And he hates his life of poverty. He just wants to be a big hero. And then thankfully one day he discovers there's some magic in his life and he goes on a quest. But it does not go how he planned at all. There's so much I love about this movie. So instead I'll first talk about the only things I didn't like about the movie. The only things I didn't like about the movie were the comedic relief characters. They were just a little much, and I didn't really care for them. Other than that though, it was great. I loved the animation style. Just the look of this film was so pretty. I hated the main character at first, but then I realized that they weren't going to do what I thought they were going to do. I'll spoil it a little bit. I assumed like he really wants to be a big hero, so I was like, oh, he's going to eventually have a big hero moment. But kind of left and right, they were having him not be the hero. Like, there's a princess that he comes across at some point, and she saves him several times. There's this weird man-beast guy who gets to do a lot of heroing. There is like one scene where it looks like he does some heroing, but then the princess points out that it was actually the magic that really did it. It wasn't really him. Just like constantly putting him in his place. So like, yeah, it was really about like subverting your expectations with classic hero stories, because he doesn't do any of the classic things that they assume a hero would do. I also love that there's a magical pig. Like, that's so random and I love it. The fairy village is also really fun. The design of the villain looks like Skeletor, and that's just great. I love how dark and creepy this movie is. It's so much fun. There's skeleton zombies at the end and they look amazing. So like practically everything about this movie worked for me. I was vibing the whole time. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie and definitely recommend it. Besides the comic relief characters, it really does not feel like any other Disney film, and I love it for it. It's so good. You want a good high fantasy movie? This is a damn good high fantasy movie. Next up is The Rescuers. This is a 1977 film, not to be mistaken for its 1990 sequel, The Rescuers Down Under, where they go to Australia, spoilers. The basic premise is there is a mouse society where mice from all over the world have pledged to help those who ask for their help. And so this little girl sends out some messages in a bottle and they go to investigate. So actually a lot of this movie is just straight up an investigation. And I love that aspect of this. I again really loved the art style. There was something really satisfying about it. I also loved the 2 leads, Bob Newhart and in particular Eva Gabor. She's known for Green Acres, among a lot of other things. They just made for like a really good pairing, like a good dynamic. And I also really love too that like the main character, Bernard, he wants to help, he wants to save the day, but he has limitations. He's scared of the dark, he's scared of things. And there's a lot of times where Miss Bianca has to be this tough, strong one, and I loved it for it. Yeah, it just works really well. I think I just got a little bit bored near the end. I think that was kind of my only complaint. I also did really love the little girl, the voice actress for her. She nailed it. I was really impressed with her. And the plot was solid too. I'm kind of surprised I didn't put this movie in the really liked. Why didn't I put this movie in the really liked? Did I not put it in the really liked? No, I put it in the quite liked. I don't remember what I didn't like about it. It's really solid. Recommend it? Yeah, totally. It's good. And lastly is The Great Mouse Detective. This is a 1986 film, again starring a mouse, that is very similar to, but legally distinct from, one Sherlock Holmes. And this one was okay. It's a Sherlock Holmes story, basically. The little girl's dad gets kidnapped, and she proves about Sherlock Holmes, not Sherlock Holmes, and she goes to him for help. He says no, but then he eventually says yes. And then her, Holmes, and Watson go on an adventure. And it's fine. I didn't super care for the animation style. It felt a little too cartoony for me. I don't know, it just wasn't that funny or interesting. Even though it's technically a mystery, they didn't really play it like a mystery. Like Holmes does a bunch of sciencey stuff that's just kind of like techno babble that doesn't mean anything. He's just like, he knows what he needs to know in order to move the plot forward. That's it. So yeah, it's okay, I don't know. I was still entertained. I didn't really care for the musical aspects of this film. There's only like 3 numbers, but still, I don't know, it just really wasn't my vibe. I still liked it. It was okay, it was fine. I would say if you have nostalgia for it, sure, give it a watch. Or if you really like Sherlock Holmes, it's alright. If you don't really have either of those things, I wouldn't recommend it. It's okay, but that's about it. Alright, now for today's rankings. First up, we got The Black Cauldron sitting at number 57 in the really liked category. And then after that is The Rescuers sitting at number 113 in the quite like section. And then bringing up the rear, rightfully so, is The Great Mouse Detective sitting at number 166 in the liked category. And this is out of a total of 222 old movies so far this year.